Welcome to Inside the Tank. I'm your host, Josh Raphael, and we're at Twin Peaks. Shout out to them for allowing us to host our episode here. We're going to jump right into it. My first guest is going to be Director of Athletics, Associate Vice President for Advancement, Michael Mominey. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Josh? Good to be here.
Living the dream, living the dream.
This is great. Thank you.
So obviously NSU had a spectacular year last year, something we haven't seen in years. So last year, coming off a 7th-place finish in the leader field standings, the best finish in our department's history, 3 national championships, 2 national runner-ups. I could just keep going on. What would you say attributed to our department's success so much?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. You can prep me for that, but maybe I'm still trying to figure that out. But we just got to figure out what it was so we can repeat that. But in all honesty, I really think it's the people, and I think I'm talking from the student athletes all the way up to the staff. I think it's all the right people looking and working towards the vision and mission of the athletic department, which is to provide a first-class experience for our student athletes, teaching life lessons. I really believe that winning championships, winning rings, winning banners is just a product of what you do on a daily basis when nobody's looking. And that could be in the weight room, that could be in the training room. We just have an outstanding group of coaches, student athletes, administrators, people like yourself that I believe all have one vision, one goal in mind, and that's to win, whether it's a win on the fields, win in the classroom, or win in the community. So, if I had to say 1 to 10 things, I keep coming back to that after thinking about last year's success.
Yeah, and I like how you said, it's about the people, obviously. And, our community has supported us immensely. I mean, how have you seen the community rally around the department after such a successful year?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for a little while, and we've had some success, not maybe all in one year like this, but I definitely have seen, I've witnessed since the success of last year. So if you put it back to, say, May in our last championship won with men's golf, I really think the needle has moved with the attention of the brand of NSU, the brand of NSU athletics in our community. We're sitting here at Twin Peaks. Who would have thought that? I still think we should be sponsored by More Than Water, but we'll have to talk about that later. But really, it's amazing the number of people that have reached out to us, whether it's through social media, to me directly. I just came from a meeting down in the President's Suite, and we often talked about how much, and we're trying to measure that over the next year. How much did our brand of NSU athletics increase, and the brand of NSU itself as a university increase by having so much success? And the last thing I would say to that, I think it's not only in the local community and the attention we got, but I think it's in the communities that we won these different championships in or competed for these championships in. Evansville, Indiana, Warren, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, where those 3 championships were won. The women's golf team in Missouri, and then a tennis team and the national runners-up in Orlando. When you look at a map like that, and we were wearing the jersey of NSU, we were able to expose the brand, expose what we do with our student athletes and our coaches across the country. So to me, that's how far we've come, and we just hope to keep it going.
100%. And I know we're looking to close our 40th anniversary, that celebration. So you've been around NSU for quite some time.
I started young.
I mean, what's it like having the perspective of seeing the university and department grow, for the past 20 years? A lot of people don't have that perspective. So kind of walk us through that.
Well, first of all, I'm humbled and blessed to, I think, been in this position. I'm actually starting my 23rd year at NSU, so I did start very young. I'll remind everybody of that. No, I just had an opportunity to come in as a coach in 2001 while we were still an NAIA program, and a very successful one. But to sit back and have perspective, I think, as I get to this point in my career, I'm really enjoying the perspective to have that, and seeing the alumni come back from those years. So to be here for more than half of the 40 years is pretty special. I think, when I'm done, which isn't anytime soon, as the athletic director here at NSU, I'll be able to maybe take a deeper thought. But again, as I reflect in the summer, as I always do, it's really almost unexplainable. I just got off the phone before I walked in here with a longtime NSU employee of athletics who really helped me get this thing started, Dr. Bob Pryor. And, he says it every time we talk. He's living up in the Northeast now, but it's like, would you have ever thought? And so I get to ask question, did you ever visualize this? And did you ever visualize us getting to that point? But it's humbling. I'm certainly proud. I mean, it's sort of like a third child. I have two kids, but this is sort of like the third child to me. But to watch it grow, and again, with the people that we've grown with, it's very, very special.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned, like you said, I mean, you started very young. You've been around this for quite some time. And so you've seen facilities grow, you know, at NSU. And obviously we just opened up a new state-of-the-art soccer and lacrosse fields, locker room facility. I mean, it's beautiful. Kind of talk to me a little bit about, like, how is it being there for that inaugural game and kind of like just that experience of seeing something that you've been working towards come to fruition?
Yeah, again, it's some of it's hard to put in words, but, you know, last Thursday night, you know, watching the first soccer game, I know we're doing a grand opening this coming Monday where a lot of people will be out to see it. But I sort of just went off by myself and, you know, and I was trying to take it all in after the torrential rain. But, you know, did it again on Friday for the women's soccer game. But even as I go back to your arena on Friday, I was able to catch some of the volleyball opener and the women's soccer opener. But, I mean, I'm trying to take it all in, right? And again, take it all in, respect that, but again, we have to keep our eye on the ball so we can keep moving forward. How can we get better? What can we do to this facility that just opened 6 days ago? What can we do to improve that facility? Because, again, that all comes back to the first-class experience that we're trying to provide the student-athletes. One of my favorite videos of the summer is the video of the opening of the locker rooms for soccer and the Instagram. And
they love that.
But again, that's what it's all about. You have to really keep your eye on why we do this, and it's really about the students, you know. If it wasn't for the student athletes in our case or the students of NSU University, I mean, I don't know, maybe we'd be bartending at Twin Peaks, but seriously, it's what we have going. And you mentioned lacrosse. You know, we have new sports coming online, 25, 26, which maybe we'll get into. But you know, to have a new soccer lacrosse facility, you know, the last major facility that we built was swimming. You know, you'll have Coach Hewitt on later, but you know, the NSU Aquatics facility is second to none. The arena is second to none, and I've been part of all of that. And we have more to come. I'll just leave it at that. We have more facilities coming because, again, that shows the first-class experience. I think that allows us to compete at the highest level from all the way back to the recruiting. Kids want to play. Student-athletes want to play in the best facilities for the best coaches. South Florida is not a bad place to recruit kids to, but we're going to keep prioritizing facilities for our student-athletes because that's part of the formula for winning.
Yeah, 100%. And you've also had the pleasure of being a coach. So, you know, you've been on both sides of the spectrum. You know, kind of, do you feel like being a former coach has helped you in your current role now?
I like to think so. You know, maybe ask some of my colleagues and some of the other coaches. But for me personally, it absolutely has. And really the reason behind it is perspective. So I think being a head coach, again, of the baseball team for 10 years from 2001 to 2011, I was able to live next to the student athletes, riding in the vans, out there recruiting, explaining what NSU was, you know, when we were out there recruiting, riding the buses, riding the vans, competing against teams in the Sunshine State Conference. When it comes to planning out, like strategically planning what we're trying to do with these new programs, so whether it's Ben Hewitt with the golf or the swimming team, we don't want Ben Hewitt coaching golf, so pardon that mistake there. Ben doing the swimming, Joey coming on doing the golf team. Even though I didn't coach that sport, I would hope to think I have some pretty good perspective from recruiting, from budgets, from travel, even from the academic side, how to sort of do some things administratively that, again, is going to be helpful to them. So I hope to think being a coach at the same institution does provide some value. And for me personally, to see sort of two different careers, you know, almost split in half as a coach and now as an administrator, again, I'm very proud to be sitting in the seat.
Kind of like the best of both worlds.
It is.
And, you know, kind of like wrap this up. Basically, what's next? I mean, is there something you're really looking forward to going into this year? I know we already started with soccer's playing,
right,
et cetera, and volleyball. But, like, is there anything you're most excited to?
I don't think there's one thing. I said it in the opening staff meetings. I said it to the Welcome Back with the Student Athletes a couple Sundays ago. I'm just as excited as I was 20 years ago as I am now. Maybe in a different way because we have different sports. We have the most student athletes entering their first year at NSU Athletics. We had 120 in our new student athlete orientation, and that's by far the most new student athletes to our program. I'm excited about the new programs that we're starting. Rowing this year. We're bringing back rowing who was traditionally a strong program for us. We're bringing it back after a 3-year hiatus. And then, of course, looking forward to adding lacrosse. So we'll be adding lacrosse in the 25-26 year. So those are some things. And, of course, I always look forward and I get excited about repeating. So I think it's a lot harder to stay on top than to get to the top.
Yeah.
So I put that out as a challenge to all the student athletes. I think that's one of the reasons they're here. I put that out to the coaches. I know how hard it is. As a coach, I know how hard it is to win.
Yeah.
But if we continue to stay as one, work together, have everybody supporting that one mission, and put ourselves in a position at these national championships, those wins will come.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you, Mike,
How was
for
that?
coming
Did
on.
I do okay?
Nah, that was amazing. That was
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Mike, for coming on.
Joshua, thanks for doing this. Thanks for hosting. Thanks to Twin Peaks. And I know we're looking forward to many more of these shows once a month. And I appreciate all the people coming out and supporting NSU athletics. Go Sharks.
100%. We're about to go on commercial break. We'll be right back.
What have we here? Another random school of fish. Watch as they mimic each other's every move. Even their own mothers can't tell these fish apart. In this school, there is no room for individualism. These fish live in fear.
You can get an MBA, or you can learn to master more than business. You can become a teacher, or an inspiration to future generations. And you can study medicine, or you can prepare to revolutionize it. With programs that offer a fast track to graduation, vast industry and alumni connections, and affordable tuition, NSU Sharks will always have the edge. Nova Southeastern University. Prepare to dominate.
There are those that live up to the standard. And there are those that create it. Some have an idea. And there are those with a vision. Where there are many that dream, only few dare. Today calls for you to think about tomorrow. Tomorrow calls for you to discover. NSU College of Pharmacy. Dream, dare, discover.
Treating others like we'd like to be treated has always been our guiding principle.
Valley's all about making life easier for clients, and that's why we're all about smiles, too. So every day, we make it possible for home buyers to become homeowners, for folks chasing their dreams to become entrepreneurs, for parents to plan today for their children's tomorrow, and for communities to get better every day. You see, when we know we've put a smile on a customer's face, well, that puts one on ours, too.
Do you think you know the quarterdeck? Take another look. Quarterdeck. Come for the food, stay for the fun.
Wherever you go, Hollywood Kia wants to get you there in a new Kia. Choose from our award-winning models: Sportage, EV6, Sorento, and Telluride. Each offers a movement that inspires. Only at Hollywood Kia, you'll save big with no dealer fee and 3 years maintenance included. That's why Hollywood Kia is #1. So come in, trade in, lease, or buy. We want to see ya in a Hollywood Kia.
Welcome back to Inside the Tank here at Twin Peaks. We have new guests here with us now. Head men's and women's swim coach Ben Hewitt and swimmer Milo. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
It's good to be here.
So obviously last year was, like I said with Mike earlier, I mean, it was spectacular, especially spectacular for you guys. National champions on the women's side. Kind of, Ben, I'll start with you. Kind of talk to me a little bit about the emotions you had being able to host up that national championship trophy.
Well, I don't know if we have enough time for that, but to unpack it simply, I would just say it was a joyful moment just because of the time that this team had put in and the effort, but also just the fact that they had to come together as a group and realize their potential in that moment. And then when you just add some additional things to the equation for us, it made it all the more special. Being at home for me in Indianapolis was extra special in a facility that's got the quality of a Yankee Stadium and so much history. And for these kids to be a part of that history there meant a lot to me personally. So it was exciting. It was, something we'll always remember, and something that you can look upon fondly in the future, and that kids can see their own potential moving forward. And to me, it's just fun to look back and remember, but also it's a motivation to move forward too, and to move forward in an exciting path for the next chapter for our program.
And as an athlete, kind of talk to me, like, how was that feeling, just winning that national championship with your teammates especially? Talk to me a little bit about that.
It was crazy. I barely remember anything from the meet because it was like day after day after day after day. You need to perform well. You need to cheer your teammates. You need to make sure you're mentally good. You're ready for the next one. And kind of in the last day of Nationals, I realized it's happening, and Ben can say that I was so nervous about what's going on and how much I'm going to score and how much the teammate going to score, and I was so focusing on the details and just looking around and trying to realize that's actually going to happen. If it's going to happen, I believed all the time it's going to happen. I did have fear on me that it can slip away from us. But I remember in the end when Savannah Bass swam the 200 breast and she won first place, and that made sure that we are winning, and I started crying, and I remember giving Ben a hug, Sierra a hug, and everyone cried, and it was, I think, the best moment for me as an athlete in all my career.
Yeah.
So I can't describe in words how much crazy it was.
And this next question is for both of you. We'll start with you, Ben. Was there a turning point in the season when you were like, we can do this? We can win a national championship?
Quietly, I think I knew all year. We didn't really want to burden them with an expectation that is going to define our season, in any season. But to Sierra and I and the recruiting that we had done, the athletes that had returned, you knew early on in the planning for the season, that's a possibility. It came to fruition not necessarily early on in the season. There were some moments where we had some good swims, but you wouldn't have necessarily seen it right away based on some circumstances. But when we went to Charlotte, we had been there before a few years back, 3 or 4 years. We didn't have the greatest showing. It's the first time we've ever been there, but this time we were a bit more prepared, and we hit the ground running. The second day of the meet, Mai was on a relay at the end of the meet of the day, and we had set a school record in the 800 free relay, which the year before we had only scored 2 points in. So now we're sitting with the best time in the country in an event that we weren't terribly great at the year before. And you start to think to yourself, okay, it's coming together now. We got to make plans.
Yeah.
And you don't ever want to get to a point in a swim season where that's going to be the only thing that's going to define you, and we don't want to burden them with too many expectations. But their awareness level started to kick in. Mm-hmm. I know very well where we're going to be capable of ending up early on in the year, and usually I'm right or pleasantly surprised, and that's a good thing. But I think for the first time they started to see that, and then we were able to really hit the ground running. It made for a great month of training in December, and that carried over into January. And our conference meet's always tricky. It's just the way it seems to play out, and it really wasn't. And that opened it up even more for us because, okay, we didn't have to, it's kind of like going 7 games in the ALCS when the other team's going to go 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We were able to mix and match a bit more, not spend ourselves too much emotionally. And in fact, I thought we were pretty businesslike in that moment.
Yeah.
We didn't have to explain anything to the kids at the conference meet. The girls were lined up ready to take their trophy. They knew exactly what to do. And all right, we're good to go.
Yeah.
And lastly, and this is just to add on, and I would have heard to talk about it more, but I was walking down the stairs at the IUPUI Auditorium. It's a long walk from the parking garage to the booths.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get a handle on where we're at, if we're good or not. And I walk past them, and I have my headphones on, listening to music, and the girls' team's over there huddled up, chatting. I'm like, oh, okay, we're good.
I like that. What about you, Mai? At what point were you like, yeah, we got it? Was it that day you said the night before, or did you just, as well as Coach Hewitt, knew all season long?
Well, I think for us, the ladies, we I don't want to say we were afraid to say it out loud. We want to be national champions, but deep down we knew that the end goal for the year. As Ben mentioned, the meet in Charlotte, it was against the Queens, the school that just transferred to D1, and we were pretty close to them, and it was like obvious that we are in the same level and maybe better than that.
Yeah.
And in the second night we had, as Ben said, the 800 relay, and we won them. I was shocked because they are national champions.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I beat the national champion.
Yeah.
And then kind of like bonding like the girls together, understanding we have a big goal.
Yeah.
Conference, so it was awesome, but we knew that the job is not done yet. And I think that was good because everyone understood job is not done.
Yeah.
And then we went to Indy. First night, it was the 800 relay. I made everyone hug each other, and I was giving them like a motivation speech and how much I love them, and I made sure they understand we are best friends now for a week.
I like that.
And I saw in their eyes they're ready, and just like we went for that, and yeah.
I like that. And kind of to wrap it up a little bit for Ben. Obviously, last year happened, and it's done. So now you got to think about this season. Is there a specific point of attack going into this year that you want to do differently, or are you the type of coach that kind of just takes it day by day and goes from there?
I think it's been a day by day process. That's pretty much how we tend to approach the sport, approach our team. I can be a little unhinged at times, and I can go to different. I can take a tangent and go with the team in a different direction, and I think they can all understand it and relate to that. But I think my message really initially is going to be, as we get started, this is this team, right? We have to sort of give up the past to gain the present and focus on what's in front of us. And we can draw confidence and we can draw from our experiences in the past, but for the group that's on the team now, the group that's even assembled here, for them to just be able to take peace of mind in knowing that this group will come together and go for it and contend. And that's all we can ask, that you can be at your best in that situation. And if we can do that, we'll have our heads held up high. Now, obviously, it's going to get a little bit more, we'll get in the thick of it as the season goes on. But generally speaking, right now, it's really about, let's set some standards. Let's start working hard, obviously. And I've seen some really good positivity from the group early on. And it's setting up similarly, but at the same time, there'll be different things that come up and different challenges that arise. And I think they'll be prepared to learn and grow through it. And we'll have, we just encourage them all to lead from where they are in the moment at that time. And Mai shared that last year with what she'd done situationally throughout the season and was able to draw from that and put that into play. And that's what we want to see this year too. And we'll see how it goes. But by no means is winning a championship in the national meet going to make my season a failure or not. I think the bigger picture is, let's come together. Let's be an exciting team. Let's be the most exciting team there.
Yeah.
And let our performances do the talking.
I like that. Well, I appreciate it, Mai. I appreciate it, Coach Hewitt. We will be back shortly as we head to commercial.
What have we here? Another random school of fish. Watch as they mimic each other's every move. Even their own mothers can't tell these fish apart. In this school, there is no room for individualism. These fish live in fear.
You can get an MBA, or you can learn to master more than business. You can become a teacher, or an inspiration to future generations. And you can study medicine, or you can prepare to revolutionize it. With programs that offer a fast track to graduation, vast industry and alumni connections, and affordable tuition, NSU Sharks will always have the edge. Nova Southeastern University. Prepare to dominate.
There are those that live up to the standard. And there are those that create it. Some have an idea. And there are those with a vision. Where there are many that dream, only few dare. Today calls for you to think about tomorrow. Tomorrow calls for you to discover. NSU College of Pharmacy. Dream, dare, discover.
treating others like we'd like to be treated has always been our guiding principle.
Valley's all about making life easier for clients, and that's why we're all about smiles, too. So every day, we make it possible for home buyers to become homeowners, for folks chasing their dreams to become entrepreneurs, for parents to plan today for their children's tomorrow, and for communities to get better every day. You see, when we know we've put a smile on a customer's face, well, that puts one on ours, too.
Do you think you know the quarterdeck? Take another look. Quarterdeck. Come for the food, stay for the fun.
Wherever you go, Hollywood Kia wants to get you there in a new Kia. Choose from our award-winning models: Sportage, EV6, Sorento, and Telluride. Each offers a movement that inspires. Only at Hollywood Kia, you'll save big with no dealer fee and 3 years maintenance included. That's why Hollywood Kia is #1. So come in, trade in, lease, or buy. We want to see ya in a Hollywood Kia.
What have we here? Another random school of fish. Watch as they mimic each other's every move. Even their own mothers can't tell these fish apart. In this school, there is no room for individualism. These fish live in fear.
You can get an MBA, or you can learn to master more than business. You can become a teacher, or an inspiration to future generations. And you can study medicine, or you can prepare to revolutionize it. With programs that offer a fast track to graduation, vast industry and alumni connections, and affordable tuition, NSU Sharks will always have the edge.
Welcome back to Inside the Tank here at Twin Peaks. We have ourselves a celebrity guest, new head baseball coach Adrian Morales. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to be here.
So I heard that you were pretty good back in your playing days. You kind of want to tell us a little bit about those?
That was a long time ago, right? Was fortunate enough that I played at Miami-Dade for 2 years.
Yeah.
Then went to South Carolina, and we were fortunate enough to be on a team where we won back-to-back national championships. A lot of good players, a lot of good coaches. Just grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, and you were born and raised in South Florida. So kind of what does it mean to you to be the new head coach at a prestigious institution such as Nova Southeastern?
I mean, it means everything to me and my family. Just honored and humbled. You know, Mike chose me to, lead the program. I know this program is his baby, right? He was the head coach for baseball. Just working alongside good coaches. Nick Rodriguez, we brought in our pitching coach, Brian Morgado, catching coach, Chris Beck. Chris Leone is going to be our analytics guy, so I'm just happy to be a part of the team.
And, I mean, because we're here to learn more about you, so kind of tell me, what got you into coaching? Obviously everyone has their own why they do it, but kind of what got you into coaching?
A lot of it had to do with just, the love of the game, right? And, growing up playing since I was 3 years old, I didn't see myself doing anything else. I always knew that it was either I'd make it to the big leagues or I was going to be a college coach. And I just wanted to give back, right, and help out the next generation and help mentor them, and hopefully that, some guys that I get to coach get to the big leagues.
Do you miss your playing days a little bit, or is that just?
I don't. I have no regrets of it. I gave the game everything I had. I wasn't good enough to get to the big leagues, right? Not a lot of guys are. Just fortunate enough to play this game. This game, helped raise me. It was everything for me. So, it's just, there's a movie, For the Love of the Game. That's how it is, right? I love this game. It gave me so much, and I just want to give it back.
Is there something specific, or in general, that you're kind of looking forward to going into this year?
Well, I think it was this week, right? We're getting into practices and individuals and being on the field with the guys. Being in the office and being around all these other coaches and the other sports has been a blessing for me, right? They've kind of mentored me through all of this and helped me and guided me. And now I get to be with my guys on the field, which is what I really love to do, right? Be around the guys and kind of help and develop players. And being around the coaching staff that I have, being on the field, I could do that for hours, right? So just, I love it here. It feels like home here.
Yeah, and obviously, we touched on kind of your playing days. So as a player, and obviously you're a coach now, so do you feel like you took some things as a player that's helping you become a coach?
Well, absolutely. I took something from my coaches, right, who coached me, where I have my coach from South Carolina always tell me about play the percentages, right, play the percentages. And I didn't understand that when he told me that. And now that I coach, hey, play the percentages, meaning if the guy's hitting 300, chances are he needs to be bunting, right, or he's hitting 250, he needs to be bunting. So little things like that I got to take from my college coaches and even coaches in pro ball have helped me a lot.
So kind of to wrap this up a little bit, I'm actually curious. Do you have a favorite MLB team?
Yeah, I'm a Marlins fan when they're good.
Yeah.
But I'm just a fan of baseball, right? I love watching the game, period, and not just the highlights. Just watching the game. I can sit and watch a game and just kind of dissect things. I just love everything about the game. It's a beautiful game.
Love that. Well, thank you to our celebrity guest, new head NSU baseball coach, Adrian Morales. We're going to go on another commercial break, but we're going to be right back. Thank you again to Twin Peaks for having us here. We'll be back.
What have we here? Another random school of fish. Watch as they mimic each other's every move. Even their own mothers can't tell these fish apart. In this school, there is no room for individualism. These fish live in fear.
You can get an MBA, or you can learn to master more than business. You can become a teacher, or an inspiration to future generations. And you can study medicine, or you can prepare to revolutionize it. With programs that offer a fast track to graduation, vast industry and alumni connections, and affordable tuition, NSU Sharks will always have the edge. Nova Southeastern University. Prepare to dominate.
There are those that live up to the standard. And there are those that create it. Some have an idea. And there are those with a vision. Where there are many that dream, only few dare. Today calls for you to think about tomorrow. Tomorrow calls for you to discover. NSU College of Pharmacy. Dream, dare, discover.
Treating others like we'd like to be treated has always been our guiding principle.
Valley's all about making life easier for clients, and that's why we're all about smiles, too. So every day, we make it possible for home buyers to become homeowners, for folks chasing their dreams to become entrepreneurs, for parents to plan today for their children's tomorrow, and for communities to get better every day. You see, when we know we've put a smile on a customer's face, well, that puts one on ours, too.
Do you think you know the quarterdeck? Take another look. Quarterdeck. Come for the food, stay for the fun.
Wherever you go, Hollywood Kia wants to get you there in a new Kia. Choose from our award-winning models: Sportage, EV6, Sorento, and Telluride. Each offers a movement that inspires. Only at Hollywood Kia, you'll save big with no dealer fee and 3 years maintenance included. That's why Hollywood Kia is #1. So come in, trade in, lease, or buy. We want to see ya in a Hollywood Kia.
Hello?
Welcome back to Inside the Tank here at Twin Peaks. And we have our final guest today. We have golfer Mike Hay and head men's golf coach Joey Marino. How are you guys doing?
Excited to be here.
I heard you guys got stuck in traffic a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. We were finishing up some practice too. So, yeah, excited to be at Twin Peaks. You know, places. Football's about to be on here pretty soon, so it'll be fun.
We love that. So obviously last year, I mean, you guys won a national championship, spectacular year. I'll start with you, Coach Marino. Kind of walk me through how everything just kind of came together for you and your team at the right time.
Yeah, so that, that's kind of a two-part story, right? I'd love to start it with our guy Dan, right, Mike? I mean, just unbelievable story there in itself. I mean, he played in about 4 tournaments all year, with regionals and nationals being 2 of them, and he kind of got hot playing well at the right time for us, So with Mike and the other 3 guys being kind of consistent guys in the lineup all year, Dan came in as the 5 spot for us and just played some unbelievable golf. So at regionals, he helped us shoot that final round score to get back into the top 6 to move on to nationals. And then nationals, he played great. He was the 3rd best on our team stroke play wise. And then, in the match versus Barry, he ended up beating an All-American in Nicholas. So just kind of, that's an unbelievable story in itself, for someone that kind of found their game. Luckily for us, the last month of the season. The second part of that, I mean, these guys being able to fight back at regionals and shoot 6 under to get ourselves to punch the ticket and get to the big dance. was incredible in itself. And then nationals following up with the same exact situation. Like, we needed another final round to move us into the top 8, and we were able to pull that off. And then being the highest seed in all our matches on paper, we weren't supposed to win them, but we took care of the defending national champions at Lee University. And then Dan being a big part of us beating Barry, who we didn't beat all season. Every time we played them in a normal event, we couldn't get past them, but we did at nationals. And then getting to Oklahoma Christian, who won the stroke play portion of nationals, shot 10 under for the event. It was going to be a really tough test for us, but we gained a lot of confidence when we got past Barry that we could get that done. And it was an unbelievable run and kind of like a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Beating all the higher seeds than us, but it was a great end to the season, obviously.
Yeah, and obviously something that attributed, to that championship was Mike's putt that was heard across the world. So we'll start with you, Mike. I just want to know, what was going through your head? Like, before that putt, knowing like, man, this may very well be the biggest putt of my career. Like, kind of walk me through what was going through your head.
I didn't actually know what was going on. I didn't know that Will was beating his guy by so many shots. Coach kind of told me that Joseph did all right, but didn't get much
There's purpose behind that.
Yeah.
We gotta take care of business that's in front of us.
He just said, I was going down 18, just finish the match off, try and get what you can. I didn't know that putt meant that we'd win, but it was certainly nice to get it.
Yeah. And Coach Marino, you tell me, let's get your viewpoint on it. Like, what was going through your head? Like, obviously you probably know everything that's going on, so like, are you just sitting there just like, oh my gosh, like, or
please God, make this putt. No, really, I mean, we were lucky in that situation that we got a really good line from the Oklahoma Christian player before us. So we were kind of looking more at like the second half of the putt because he left his short. So we had a good line on it. Mike was confident in where he wanted to hit it, and he made it obviously. But I couldn't have asked for anyone else on the team really to hit that putt. I mean, Mike's arguably probably the best part on the team. So to have him in that situation, I mean, you couldn't have wrote a better story.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, like, as a coach, I know you mentioned your team's resiliency, and obviously you have to have a lot of composure in times like that. As a coach, how do you keep your players just level-headed in moments like that?
Yeah, I think it's important to stay present in the moment that you're in, right? So, if Mike's got an opportunity to win a tournament individually, right, with a couple holes down the stretch, it's just kind of reminding him one shot at a time is the most important way to approach it, sticking with the process that we have. But really, in that situation, I mean, it sounds weird coming from a coach. I try not to overcoach them in a sense, right? Because you kind of create some, if Mike sees a putt going a certain way and I step in and I don't see it that way, he's now not believing that that's the right spot to hit it. So it sounds weird to say try not to overcoach him, but if you try to control it in that sense, I mean, all you're going to do is create some disbelief for them. So he's played his way into a situation to be successful this week and have that opportunity to be in a big moment. I trust that he's going to get it done, so I'm more there confirming what he sees and trying to make him comfortable in that moment.
Yeah. And Mike, was there anything this year? Obviously, every team goes through something. I know, like you said, Coach Marino mentioned, like, you guys went through a lot, etc. Was there something that brought you and your teammates together this year? Anything that may have motivated you guys?
I think having the same squad for most of the year, there was me, Joseph, Will, and Joseba. We had the 4 guys week in, week out, all traveling together.
Yeah.
I think that brings us 4 together. And then we had Dan, obviously. He came in last minute. We all loved him anyway. Great guy. So to bring that atmosphere out there, and he was a 5th year, brought a bit of experience to it.
Yeah.
And he really just calmed us down. Like, he was, as soon as we got to nationals, he was just in love with the place. He was making jokes all week, and that kind of made us more relaxed.
Yeah.
Which was which was nice at the end of the day. You don't want to take it too seriously. Obviously, it's a national championship, but you got to stay relaxed.
Yeah, 100%. What's it like playing for Coach Marino?
It's great, honestly.
Mike, they're putting you on the spot, Mike.
Yeah, I won't say too many bad things.
Yeah,
no.
be nice.
No, it's great. I mean, like he's just said, he doesn't overcoach. We've got to this point by doing what we do. If we need help, we ask him. He gives us the advice that he can, which is perfect. Like, I'm going to go out and practice. I'm going to go out and play how I want to play. But if we need someone to give us a hand, he's there to help us through it.
Yeah. And Coach Marino, kind of what's the mentality going into next season? I mean, you're coming off a national championship. You know, what's the mentality?
So we're a bunch of golfers, right? So we're not like sitting in a room like rah, let's go, defend the championship. I mean, it's more of it's a process, right? Building all season long, right? Continuing to progress your game, especially with a bunch of the new young guys that we got. Just each tournament, taking it tournament by tournament, building the best that we possibly can. The goal every single year, and Mike's been here a long time now, it's just, getting to regionals, giving ourselves an opportunity to get to nationals. And once you get there, anything can happen like we saw. And, I think we have a team year in and year out that has that ability. It's just kind of building and working towards the season to get better and play the way that we like to play and give ourselves an opportunity.
Yeah, and as we get kind of to our final point, Coach Marino, tell me a little bit about the newcomers for this new year.
Yeah, so we have a lot of them. 4 returners and 5 new guys. 4 of them? 3 of them? 3 of them are from England, I believe. And then 2 from Spain. Great kids. I mean, they've only been here 2 weeks, so I'm still getting to know them a little bit too. But from the things I've saw from this week playing, there's a lot of promise there. I think we got a lot of really bright future Shark stars in the mix, and I'm excited to see how their games progress over their freshman year. But I'm definitely expecting some of them to come in and make an impact right away, especially if we want to make another run at the national championship.
And Mike, last thing actually, do you have any specific goals you got for this year, or are you one of those guys that just like like talking about it?
I take it week by week, but me and Coach talked. I want to get an individual win.
Okay.
I've not done that since being here, so that's kind of personally that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a team, I mean, if we can get to nationals again and give it another go, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But we'll just see how it goes.
Love that. Well, Coach Marino, Mike, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you again to Twin Peaks, and welcome to the show. And we're here now. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will be back next month on the first Thursday of the month. Again, thank you to Twin Peaks, and we're out.